We are in the office area today because I did not feel like setting up in the living room. So the first thing I read was Alice on Border Road, and no. I got all the way through volume 1, and then I got all the way through volume 2, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Usually I try to give manga series at least the first 3 volumes before I make a decision on if I just don't vibe with it, because you got to give it time to set up. But I just did not care about these characters. I did not care about what was going on. I didn't even realize that it was by the same person that wrote Alice in Borderland. And I love Alice in Borderland. Love it to death. I was very surprised to find out it was written by the same person. And I was rocking with Zom 100 till about volume 6 or 7 before I finally let that go. And not even because it was bad. It was just silly, and silly wasn't what I was looking for at the time. But Alice on Border Road is a isolated story, I'm assuming, from what I read, from the Alice in Borderland story. This girl wakes up, she's in the jungle all alone, she doesn't know who, what, when, where, why, how, and she goes off to see if she can find some civilization, find some help. She stumbles across another girl, and then they end up stumbling across some more people, and they eventually find the playing cards in their pocket. And some kind of way they decide that they all need to get to Tokyo to figure out the mystery of what's going on. That's about as much that's happened in the 2 volumes that I read. There were some other things that happened that I guess if I cared about the characters, or if I cared about the story and was invested, that I would have been like, oh my gosh, no. But I can't even tell you the main character's name. Like, that's how uninvested I was with this series. It was very much giving watching paint dry. I was like, why are we here? What are we doing? So I gave up. Something that I did enjoy was The Apothecary Diaries. I read volumes 1 through 3, and the only reason why I didn't continue is because I had things that I wanted to get through last month, so I will be picking it up at some point. I want to just go ahead and buy them and be done with them, because I am really enjoying what the series is. I love Mao Mao. I love the art. I love the injection of comedy, the mystery of it all. Apothecary Diaries is basically, I guess, a historical mystery suspense thriller. I'm not really sure what to call it. There's mysteries going on. There's things happening around the palace. And Mao Mao, who is the apothecary, is kind of in the center of figuring these things out. I'm assuming there's some romance in there. I haven't quite gotten that far into it yet, but there's some tensions, that might be leading to that direction. And normally that's not my thing, but it works well here. I don't know, it's just a fun time. And Mao Mao is technically supposed to be like a palace servant, but somehow she keeps getting wrapped up in these palace mysteries and solving them. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say about it other than I am enjoying it, and I cannot wait to continue reading it. Something else I enjoyed that I read was Blood on the Tracks. I did read the entire series, so volumes 1 through 17. Volumes 1 through 10, I think, were a reread for me, so that wasn't anything special, but it still gripped me like it did the first time. However, finishing it, I will say, as much as I love this series, it is one of my favorites, the ending felt abrupt considering all the things that happened in the story, but given what the ending was, given what the whole plot was, the ending made sense. There's not really too many places you can go with that. So Blood on the Tracks is basically a masterclass of why therapy exists, okay? It's about this lady and her relationship with her son, and it is a very unhealthy relationship and things happen. And this is one of those stories that you can't talk about too much about what is going on without giving the entire thing away. If you're interested in a thriller, a psychological thriller to be exact, I highly recommend going into this one blind. It's so unsettling in ways, like it's horror, but it's like realistic horror, you know what I mean? And then when you get towards the later volumes, there's some author notes in there that is making me wonder what his connection is to the story. Like, it almost feels like he's trying to say that this really happened, but I don't believe that really happened, because surely it would be in the news somewhere, something, I would think. And from what I dug around, I couldn't find anything significant. So I don't know what that's about, if he just had a difficult relationship with his mother and it prompted him to pen this story, but it was effective. Anyway, I am highly biased when it comes to Oshimi, but I will always and forever recommend this series. Completely forgot I had the manga to hold up, to be like, hey, this is also what I read. I don't have Alice on Border Road, because I read that one digitally, but there's Put on the Track. It would not be a Dax video if it were well thought out and I was prepared, because who does that? Who is she? Anyway, also read volume 1 and volume 2 of After the Rain. And I also enjoyed this series. I'm going to finish it hopefully this month, but because I just put that out in the ether, that means I'm not going to finish it this month. So I will say After the Rain was not at all what I expected it to be. I thought I was about to get into some weird pervy stuff, because this is about a high school girl who develops a crush on this guy, her manager, who is 45 years old, at the restaurant that she works at. But I flew through volume 1 and then immediately picked up volume 2. It's kind of cute, which is weird to say about a high schooler and a 45-year-old man. Nothing sketch happens yet, as far as I know. Hopefully it stays that way. Nothing sketch happened in volume 1 or in volume 2, so there's that. But it's cute and it's funny. I don't really have anything to say about the art. There are, you know what, I take that back. There are a couple of pages that are definitely fan servicey, but there's not that many. Anyway, it's not bad. It's not as pervy as I thought it would be. It's not really pervy at all. There are, like I said, a couple of pages that are just like, oh look, here's a half-naked lady just because, which is weird because she's 17, but given how we know manga goes, overall, it's not bad. Where's Run on Your New Legs? Where's my manga? I don't know if I mentioned, but the whole purpose of my TBR for September was to read volume 1s and to see if I could read 30 manga in 30 days. So that's why you're seeing a lot of volume 1s in this video. Tell me why the camera overheated. Okay, so I don't know what got cut off and what didn't. So we're gonna start this one over. Run on Your New Legs is about a high schooler who is a very good soccer player and he has a promising career ahead of himself. However, he gets into an accident and ends up losing his leg. And through a series of events, he ends up meeting a prosthetist in a subway station. And the guy asks him if he is willing to let him work with him, I guess, in building him a athletic leg, which is something that's kind of foreign to the high school guy. And after a while, he reluctantly accepts his help. And through that, he starts learning about like Paralympics and stuff like that. It's really cute. It's really fun. It's really entertaining. It's actually kind of educational too. I did learn some things in here. The art is solid. I was surprised to see Oscar Pistorius mentioned in here. If you know, you know. If you don't, and you're into true crime, look him up. This story is complete in 5 volumes, so I probably will check out the rest of the series. I don't know if I necessarily need to own it, because I did enjoy it, but I didn't love it, if that makes sense. And as you may or may not know, I'm trying to curate my library down to something that I purely enjoy. But we'll see. We'll see after I finish it if it's something that I want to keep forever and ever. Next up, I read Crazy Food Truck Volume 1. I don't know what this is. This is Mad Max, but with food, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. This guy is in the middle of nowhere. He owns a food truck. He's driving and he comes across a girl in a, I don't remember if she's in a bag or if she's in a box. She's in a bag, okay. She's in a bag, in a sleeping bag, just naked, just naked. And she's naked for the vast majority of this. Why? You tell me. I don't know. It doesn't add to the plot. There's no explanation as to what's going on or why she's naked all the time. She does have clothes on sometimes. Very, very little clothing. And again, I'm not someone who cares about stuff like that. It's a little odd that it's just happening for no rhyme, no reason. They're running from the military, the feds or something. I don't know. There's a higher power that they're running from. And turns out that she's super good at fighting, and so is he. And it's very over the top. It's very actiony. It's very, let me turn my brain off and have some fun. It is a very quick read. It is complete in 3 volumes, and I have no desire. I have no desire to read the other 2 volumes. Another turn your brain off and have a good time story is Dorohedoro. Only read volume 1. I am continuing with the rest of the series because I already own the entire series, for what reason we won't even begin to talk about. But they don't even ease you into this story, okay? It's violent, it's action-packed from the beginning, okay? We're following this guy, and I'm going to try my best to explain this story. There are sorcerers, and there are, I guess they're regular people, I don't know, but the sorcerers are practicing their magic on people and turning them into all types of crazy things. So Cayman is this weird reptile alligator guy that got worked on by a sorcerer, and he's trying to figure out who did it. And in doing so, he, like, when he finds one, latches onto their heads, and then there's a man inside of his mouth that asks him if he's the one. It just kind of goes from there. That is a very loose description of all of the chaos that goes on in this story. I have continued reading it. I'm actually doing a buddy read with someone right now, and I'm on volume 4, and it doesn't let up. It's violent, it's gory, it's funny, it's got the good kind of humor in it. I will say that there are some parts where I am completely lost in the story because I don't really quite understand what's going on, because there's so many different characters and they're doing their own thing. A lot of the characters, in my opinion, kind of look alike. I don't remember any of their names. I give them my own names. The panels, a lot of the panels are busy, so I have a hard time understanding what's really going on. But as I get more acquainted with the art style of the manga and everything, it becomes a little easier. If it'll, there we go. What am I looking at? Like some of these, it takes a while for my eyes to really adjust and understand what I'm looking at. But I think the more I read the series, and the further I get into it, it becomes a lot easier to understand. But overall, I am enjoying it. Like I said, I am continuing reading the story into October for a buddy read. So hopefully the pieces of the story will start clicking a little better for me, because it's fun. But I'm not going to act like I understand what's going on 110%. And the last thing that I don't see in my stack, oh, here it is Let's Go Karaoke. I picked this up because it was supposed to be part of the whole volume 1 thing. Come to find out, it's a one-shot. Didn't realize that until I started reading this. But this is basically about, I think he's in middle school. There's a lot of school-aged people on my list today. This is about a middle schooler who has a run-in with a Yakuza, and basically he wants the middle schooler to help him learn how to sing, because he's got this competition going on with his boss, and the loser of the karaoke contest amongst the other guys has to get a tattoo that he does not want to get. So he befriends this middle schooler to try to help him sing better. It sounded silly on paper, but I thought it would just be a quirky little time, but it's so surface level, and I understand there's only so much you can do with one volume of something, but I've read plenty of one-shots that have gotten deep into the story. This one, everything's very surface level. There's not a whole lot going on. It's a little weird that this grown man is hanging out with a middle schooler. I don't know if this is supposed to be some kind of borderline BL situation. I don't think there's anything on here. It just says it's for older teens from Yen Press. The last chapter or so had me side-eyeing the Yakuza, because what are you doing, sir? What are you doing? But if you like little quirky stories, if you like one-shots, try it, I guess. I think there's a anime for it, or a live action. There's something out there for it. I don't remember which one it was, because I'm not interested in watching it. But this one is probably going to the Goodwill. So I only read 28 of the 30, but that's pretty close, and I'm gonna go with it. I didn't read any novels last month, which is surprising. Usually I have at least one in rotation, so hopefully I can read something in October, even though October is halfway over. That is all that I have for you guys today. Tell me down below what your favorite read of September was, or what your least favorite read of September was. And if you have any plans for any spooky reads for October, and I will see you in the next video.